So this evening I thought we would practice like an inversions focused class, but not necessarily super strong inversions, although we'll give space for some of the kind of big inversions, headstand, shoulder stand at the end, and do a class that kind of prepares us for that, but more focusing on the more gentle inversions. So as I was saying, I've been having a headache for the last few days. I very, very rarely get headaches, and I've been finding gentle inversions quite soothing. A bolster could be handy, and a brick could definitely be handy, because I'm going to give options for supporting the head in different postures, kind of like supported inversions. Okay, so let's start in child's pose, and this is where you might wish to use a bolster. Optional, you could just do any version of child's pose, but if you are in a bit of a tender space like me physically, you might choose to do the supported version of child's pose, where basically if we're feeling a bit tender or low energy or physically challenged, using bolster, other supports can just really support us, so literally, but also kind of more emotionally. So you could use the bolster underneath your torso, maybe with the head to the side, or even forehead on the bolster, or forehead on the brick on the bolster. Or if you prefer to just do a stronger practice, get more into the stretches, just skip the bolster, find a version of child's pose, but try to find a place where the forehead comfortably connects with something, the floor or a support. And we'll just explore the quality of these kind of gentle inverted postures this evening. So just allow yourself to feel supported, whether you're using bolster or not. Feel that sense of your forehead making contact and being supported by something beneath the forehead. And just have a sense of support. So we go through our days carrying ourselves, busy, lots and lots of thinking, lots of using the mental plane. So just kind of have that sense of letting go of some of that busyness, activity, and just allow yourself to be supported here. And then noticing how you feel this evening on all levels, physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally. Noticing your breath and how the breath's flowing this evening. Just as we spend a bit of time here, just feel a sense of letting go, relinquishing effort, the need to carry yourself, hold yourself. Just for a moment, let it go. Be held. Just breathe. And just have a sense of your yoga practice being a resource for you, a resource that is there for you to carry you, support you, nourish you. A precious resource in your life. Take about 3 or 4 more slow, deep breaths here, just if you haven't already, just slowing down and regulating the breath. Breathing through the nose. You might want to, just for the last breath or so, just gently roll the head side to side. So we're kind of massaging the forehead, which I find very soothing physically for my headache. But also we are stimulating the seat of the third eye, our seat of intuition. And then just coming back to stillness. And then when you're ready, just slowly bring yourself up to tabletop. Just move nice and steady. And plant your hands underneath the shoulders and your knees underneath the hips. And let's just begin to mobilize the body. So starting with cat-cows, inhaling into the cow, Looking up, exhaling into the cat, looking down the tip of the nose. Stretching the spine, stretching the back. And cat, and stretching the front in cow. Just doing a couple more, matching breath and movement. And then at the end of your next exhale, we'll take another kind of gravity-assisted inversion. So just keeping the hips over the knees, just walking the hands out, dropping the head. And again, let the forehead meet something, whether it's the floor or a block. I know sometimes if you're very open, you could come onto your chin, but just for our kind of forehead focus, inversions focus, just let the forehead again feel that support of the floor or block. And just remember, an inversion in yoga is when the head is below the heart. So this counts. This is an inversion. Super good. The pelvic floor, those who join me on the pelvic floor workshop will remember that gravity-assisted inversions are super good for pelvic floor health. So just kind of having a sense of relaxation in the pelvic floor here as well. Just getting all the physical benefits in the spine and the side body and resting the forehead. Just a few more slow, deep breaths here. And then at the end of your next exhale, just press through the hands, walk the hands back a little bit so they're just in front of the shoulders, tap the toes, come into downward dog. Another inversion, head is below the heart. Walk yourself into downward dog if you need or wish, walking out the heels, or just come straight into the stillness of the posture. But this is one time where I said there's an option in some postures today to use a block. So if it works for you and you want to explore it, it's just something I've been doing with my headache, is to, in these inversions, is just rest my head on a block because it's felt very nourishing. So I'm just demonstrating here. I've just got the brick underneath my forehead. This is just an option, an invitation. It can, if you don't need it, you might want to skip it because it can just feel like it compresses the neck and then stops you just getting the full kind of release. But I don't know, for me, it's just been super helpful recently. So I'm just sharing. Just taking a couple more breaths. It just gives the practice a slightly more yin quality, I suppose, when we use support. And then from here, just transitioning through the plank. So if you used the block, just move it out the way, come forward so the shoulders are over the wrists. And then again, if you're wanting to take the pace down, bring the knees down, but still have the shoulders over the wrists and push the floor away actively with the hands. Otherwise, we've got the knees off the floor. We're pushing the floor away with our hands to stretch and open the space between the shoulder blades, just lifting the belly up towards the spine. And then as you exhale, bring the knees down, bring the chin and the chest down. And then inhale into the smallest of back bends. So we will be doing some back bends for a holistic practice, but keeping them relatively mellow today. So focusing more on the other way of moving, more inwards. So just a cobra, hands under the shoulders, lifting the chin and the chest, just taking a few breaths here, pressing down the tailbone, pressing down the pubic bone and the tops of the feet. Breathing as fully as you can, even when the belly is compressed. One more breath. And then as you exhale, press back through tabletop or plank back to the downward dog. Again, just use that block under the head if you wish. And let's just take a modification here by taking the feet about mat distance apart. So we come to like a wider leg version of downward dog, but the toes still point forward, the feet are still parallel. It will give you a slightly different sensation in the lower back, maybe you feel it in the inner thighs. Keep a kind of anchoring sense in your central, your core, lifting up the pelvic floor and the lower belly up to the spine. I'm just going to take a bit longer in the inversions today, just to get the benefits of being upside down. So just taking more like 5 to 10 breaths than 3 to 5 breaths. So just a few more slow, deep breaths here. If you need to bring the knees down though, of course do, if it's too much for you. Sometimes spending longer in the posture helps us find the symmetry a bit more, locate the asymmetries and start to work with them, start to feel the subtleties of where we're stuck, where we're asymmetrical, where needs to open, where needs to strengthen. So let's take one more breath. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward, and we'll come into the forward fold inversion. So bring your feet underneath the hips. So we're still upside down, the head is still below the heart. And we'll do a few variations, but just for now, just hold your opposite elbow or let the arms dangle and just really release the neck, maybe just nod, shake the head so that we're just kind of shaking tension out of the crown of the head. Tension that can build up, especially if we are using the mind a lot of mental energy, can create a lot of tension in the head, headaches. It's the sense of shaking that energy out through the top of the head. And being instead in the body mind. Firming the thighs, spreading the toes, couple more breaths. And then from here, release the hands to the floor, walk the feet to about mat distance apart. And if you can, transition all the way down to Malasana squat. If you just need to stop halfway, then stop halfway, but otherwise coming all the way down into that deep squat with the hands together. The crown of the head lifting now, drawing the chest forward. Taking a few breaths, just allowing the effects of the inversion to kind of flip again. We might feel a bit lightheaded at times in this class, so just give yourself time for everything to reset. And then we're going to go upside down again. So bring the hands forward, lift the hips and walk the feet back underneath the hips. And this time we'll take Padangusthasana, so take the first two fingers in the thumb around the big toes, pressing the tip of the thumb into the tip of the big toe. And again, just drop the head, release the neck, relax the neck, maybe just nodding, shaking if that helps. Strengthening the legs, pushing actively down through the feet. Really almost bringing the weight into the toes a bit more in this posture to really press the fingers with the big toe. And you'll notice with this kind of inversions practice, we're also giving the hamstrings quite a lot of attention. So bend the knees as much as you need. And then on your next inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. And then Padahastasana. So another variation, lifting up the feet, sliding the palms underneath the soles of the feet. So it might be just that your toes touch your fingers. It might be that you can get deeper and the toes touch the inner wrists. You might need to bend the knees quite a lot to get any kind of contact here. So no problem, bend the knees as you need. And then again, drop the head. If that little gentle nod and shake helps, just add that again, very subtle. And breathe. It can feel a bit counterintuitive if you've got a headache to do a lot of inversions, but I have been feeling the benefits. The proof is always in the practice. Try things for yourself, see what works for you. A couple more breaths. Okay, and then inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Again, release the hands one at a time. We're going to drop back down into Malasana squat. So taking the feet wider, turning the toes out, probably for most of us, dropping those hips down. And you can, if you're really enjoying this more, keeping the head low, you can just keep the hands on the floor, keep the head dropped, or back to classic Malasana with the hands at the chest here, lifting up through the spine. And then we'll just transition from Malasana into, a different version of it, the garland pose. So just bring your hands down to the floor for a moment and bring your feet together. So we're still on the balls of the feet, but the heels are lifted now. I mean, I think for all of us, we're going to have to lift the heels. And this time we do drop the head. So we kind of walk the hands forward, they're inside the knees, and we make ourselves really small and we drop the head. And then you wrap the arms, or you take the arms backwards. So as if you were going to try and wrap them behind the back, but that's never going to work mechanically for any of us, unless you're Mr. Tickle. So you just have the hands on the floor with the palms up and just walk the fingertips back. You could even hold the heels. So we're dropping the head down. We're making ourselves like a small little shell. It reminds me of like a shell shape. Scallop. Rounding the back. If you can press the backs of the hands to the upper thighs or outer hips, you know, as if you were trying to reach to bind them behind the back, but well, don't ever go there. I think it's just a stronger shoulder opener. One more breath. And then release the hands back down. Again, just bring the knees together, press through the feet to lift the hips, come back into a forward fold, but this time with the feet together. And then inhale up, exhale lower again. And then this time we're coming up. So inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head and look up. And then exhale, bring the hands to the side and just pause and move to the front of the mat if you're not already there. And again, just give yourself a moment. We've kind of quite a lot, so just rest here in Tadasana, just to reset. It's like we're moving things a lot, physically, but also energetically. Okay, so we'll do sun salutations, but we'll just start with 3 half salutations to just keep this up and down action and also working the hamstrings. So when you're ready, inhale, raise the hands and look up. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, drop the head again. Inhale, come all the way up. Raise the hands and look up. Exhale, hands to the side. 1 round, 2 more like that. Inhale, hands up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Relax the neck. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Press through the feet. Inhale, raise the hands and look up. Exhale, hands to the side. 1 more. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Relax the jaw here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands, look up to the hands. Exhale, hands back to the side. Just take a breath here. Okay, so now 3 more full salutations. Just take it steady. Inhale, take the hands up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step or jump back to the plank or tabletop. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Knees on or off the floor. Inhale, back bend. It could be a really small back bend, and exhale, downward dog. Use the block under the forehead if you are enjoying exploring that. Otherwise, without. And again, we're just going to take a bit longer when we get to these inversions. So at least 5 breaths, maybe kind of 5 to 7. Slow, deep breaths. Doesn't matter how many, really, just quality, not quantity. Really feeling the benefits of the inversion, the blood flowing from the head to the brain, to the pineal gland. Couple more breaths, just feeling where in your body is tight, is resistant. Do the left and right sides feel different? How can we even up? And then at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, lower. Press through the feet. Inhale, raise the hands above the head, reach and stretch. Exhale, hands to the side. Straight into the next round. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, plank or tabletop. Inhale, strong body. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. If you want to keep it gentle, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Here we are again. Now I know for some of you in the class, downward dog gets tricky with the wrists. So you could take dolphin on the forearms. It's still an inversion that we will explore later. Or bring the knees down, and child's pose is a great option as well. Okay, so taking again a few more breaths than usual. Child's pose, tabletop, downward dog. With the block under the head if you wish. And then at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, the feet to the hands. Inhale to look up, exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head. Exhale, hands to the side. Straight into the last round. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank or tabletop. Inhale here, arms over the wrists. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Or child's pose. So again, we're here. Our motif for the evening. So drop into the shape that you've chosen. And just take the time to really feel into the posture, whether it's downward dog or child's pose or tabletop. Feel the asymmetries. Does one side feel more contracted than the other? Does one hip feel more lifted than the other? Do certain parts of the back feel that you're not breathing into them? Probe the body with the breath. Give yourself this extra time to really explore how the shape feels in your body. And then at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step, jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the hands, look up. And exhale, hands to the side. Again, you might feel a little bit lightheaded. And then when you're ready, step to face the long edge of the mat. We'll just do a couple of side bodies and then come into some more inversions. So we'll go into triangle and we'll let our balance today be the half moon. Okay, so have a block again handy close to your right foot if you think you might need it. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out. Inhale, hips face forward. Exhale, Trikonasana. Take the right hand to the right leg, left hand, raise it. And look up. So now the head's kind of in line with the heart. See if you can have a sense of the crown of the head kind of reaching forward and the hips reaching in the opposite direction, as if somebody's kind of pressing a finger gently into the crown of your head and you're trying to press back. So it's a sense of extension through the spine, extension through the neck, lengthening of the body here. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand to the left hip, turn to face the right foot, bend the right knee, and step forward, big step or lots of little steps until the right hip is above the right ankle and we can lift the left foot off the floor. Keep the left hand on the hip or raise the left hand. You can use a block, of course, underneath your right hand if you need. Feel more spacious here. You want to feel that same sense of extension through the torso. And for some of us, the head will be slightly, for most of us, the head will be slightly below the heart here, so it's kind of an inversion. And then as you exhale, just release the left hand to the hip, bend the right knee and bring that left foot back down and slowly bring yourself up. Great, nice job. And turn to the other side, bringing your block with you if you need it. Okay, so same on the other side, right foot turns in, left foot out, hips don't move. Inhale, stretch through the fingertips and exhale, slide the left to the left of the torso, bringing the left hand to the left leg. Right hand reaches up. reach up through the right fingertips. And then again, feel that sense of trying to get as much length in the torso. So once again, just imagine that I'm in the room with you, just gently putting my finger on the crown of your head, and you want to push back against the finger. So there's a sense of lengthening and opening, and at the same time, the kind of hips are shooting back in the opposite direction. So the spine gets long, even in this sideways shape. And then from here, transitioning into the half moon kind of inversion, bring the right hand onto the right hip, bend the left leg, bring the left fingertips down. So they're going to be underneath your shoulder on the block of the floor as you lift the back leg up. Toes point forward, reach the right hand up if appropriate for you. If you feel wobbly at all, then just look down. If you feel quite stable, look forward or even up to the top hand. Strong in the back leg. Connect to your core, pelvic floor, lower belly. And then as you exhale, bend the standing leg, slowly bring the right foot down, right hand back to hip, and bring yourself up. You probably will feel a bit of the same sense of coming out of an inversion of just like needing a bit of time to reset. And then walk the feet a little bit wider. We're going to take the full sequence of prasaritas. And again, option, if you're enjoying the exploration of the forehead on the brick, have it in front of you to do supported inversions here. So first of all, prasarita A, hands on the hip. Inhale, look up and open the front of the body, and then exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands to the floor. Maybe feels nice, rest the head on the brick. On any of its three heights. Some of us, if we're quite close to the floor with the head, but not quite there, you know, it can be quite nice to just get that feedback sometimes, feel what it might be like to get the head in contact with something. Or if you prefer just the tractioning of gravity with nothing underneath the head, just skip the block, let the head dangle towards the floor. Again, we'll just stay a little bit longer than usual. Slow, deep breaths. And then inhale, press through the hands, look up and lengthen. Exhale, keep the torso parallel to the floor as you bring the hands to the hips. This is a really important buffer. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, here. Inhale to raise the hands out to the side. Exhale, bring the hands back to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and look up. Exhale, forward fold into Prasarita B. This time, keep the hands on the hips. So we're just doing the full Ashtanga Prasarita sequence today. Keep the hands on the hips, just let the head hang. If you want to use the block again, just bring it underneath the forehead. But in a way, in this one, it's really designed to just really feel that traction with gravity. Strong legs. Gently nod and shake the head if you feel you're holding tension in the neck. And then on an inhale, push through the feet, bring yourself up. Open the hands wide as you inhale. Exhale, hands to the side. And we just keep going. Inhale, open the hands wide. Exhale, bring the hands behind you this time. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the hands up, press the knuckles up and away. Exhale, fold again into Prasarita C, this time bringing the hands up and over. So this time, you're probably not going to use the brick because you haven't got your hands ready to put it there. So just let the head dangle. Taking a few slow, deep, steady breaths. This full Prasarita sequence is a pretty profound sequence. All this up, down, really kind of shakes things around. So just try to keep calm, keep the breath slow and steady. regular. On your next inhale, come up, leading with the hands. It's like the knuckles draw you back up, and you open at the top of the inhale. Exhale, hands to the side. Probably feeling a little bit altered by now. If you've had enough, just pause, but otherwise we're going for one more. So hands on the hips, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest and look up. Exhale, prasarita D, we fold. When we get to our deepest fold, we release the hands, take hold of the big toes, first two fingers and thumb. Like with Padangusthasana, we press the tip of the thumb into the tip of the toe and drop the head. You could maybe slip the block underneath the forehead, especially if you're feeling quite challenged and lightheaded in this sequence. It is an intense sequence. Breathe, try to regulate and slow down and relax the breath, and the body can relax, and just allow the benefits of the inversions, the asanas to work through your physical body, your subtle energy body. On your next inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, and again, exhale, bring the hands to the hips, so this kind of halfway house, torso parallel to the floor, and then inhale, come up, open the hands wide, exhale, hands to the side. Well done. Step the feet together, just return to the mountain pose for a minute, and just feel, I can feel a lightness around my forehead, and this is, deliberately, it's all helping clear the subtle energy body in this area. But make sure you feel like the blood's going back down into your feet. Feel your feet in Tadasana. Okay, so one more inversion, but we won't do full inversion unless you want to. So we'll do Parsvottanasana. So the right foot's forward, we step the left foot back, and just bring the hands to the hips. So we're facing the front foot, hips face forward. Roll the shoulders back, inhale, lift the chest and look up. And then exhale, just take the torso forward. You could use a block here. If you've got your brick handy, you could put it just in front of the foot. If all that up and down has made you feel a bit kind of peculiar, just do this halfway, so the head's kind of in line with the heart. But if you're feeling good to go all the way down into the full hamstring stretch, then hands come onto the floor, or maybe the shin, and we drop the head. So we're back in an inversion. So just tune into your body here. If you're folded in the full inversion and you're quite open, you can turn your hands up so the palms face up and walk them back towards the back foot. That kind of gorilla arms version of this. Just to come in a bit deeper. But if we're in the halfway house, we're still getting a beautiful opening here. We're just not inverting if we need just a little break from the inversion. Taking a couple more breaths. And then from here, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, coming up, putting a micro bend in that front knee if you need. And just step the left foot to join the right, so we return to the stability of the mountain pose here. And then when you're ready, take a bit more extra time if you need. Step the right foot back, heels are in line. It's not a big space between the feet. Hands on the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest and look up. And exhale, fold over that front leg. Again, maybe halfway house, block in front of the foot, leveling out, feeling that kind of same sense of spinal extension like in the triangle where the head's in line with the heart, and we try and extend the crown of the head forward, or full fold, dropping over that shin, maybe walking the hands back. Wherever you get to here, just take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Couple more. And then at the end of your next exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Again, just bring yourself up. Step the right foot forward, back to Tadasana. Okay. So we'll play again with that sense of the head being level with the heart, and then optional inversion. So we'll do it with a modified warrior 3, or possibly going into standing splits. So I'm hoping you've all got a brick, at least one brick. If you've got 2, even better, but one or something that you can put your hands on, even if it's a bolster. We're going to have in front of us. If you haven't, you'll just have to put your hands on the floor and you'll just have to be in an inversion. Okay, but ideally we want to bring the hands higher so that the head's not below the heart. So we're going to bring the hands down onto our block, which is basically underneath the face. And from here, just really stabilizing your lower belly and your pelvic floor. So kind of feel that drawing in of the belly up and lifting of the pelvic floor. And then with minimizing any other movement, just lift the right leg. So it's just in line with the hip and out behind you. So we're in a kind of warrior 3, but we've got our hands on the floor for now. It's a modified warrior 3. So we can really focus, when we're not in the balance, we can focus really on the integrity of the leg. So you can inwardly rotate the right leg. And so the toes point down, keeping the hips square. And then from here, you can stay here and just work. So again, feel my invisible finger pressing into the crown of your head and push against it. But if you want to go into another inversion, change it to the standing splits by taking the hands to the floor now, letting the head drop, and at the same time, letting the right foot rise up. So it's another hamstring stretch. And this time we really let the head drop towards the left shin, walking, for those of us who feel comfortable to do so, hands either side of the left foot. Don't worry about the hips being in alignment here. More about the hamstring stretch. Okay, and then we're going to come back out. If you went into standing splits, back through either our modified warrior 3, or some of you might want to just finish this sequence with a full warrior 3, taking the hands either behind, out to the side, or full posture in front. Over 2 or 3 or 4 breaths. And then to come out when you're ready, just come back up to the mountain pose by letting the right foot join the left, coming back to Tadasana. I'll take a moment, feeling my heart rate up there, which is great. Okay, so we'll do all that on the other side. So feeling this difference between when the head is in line with the heart and below the heart. So just starting from mountain pose, again, you've got your block or something in front of you, hopefully. If not, sorry, you're just getting another inversion here. Okay, so we press down, block on its highest setting, and we extend the crown of the head forward. We stabilize our core and pelvic floor and lower belly lifting, and we raise the left leg without moving much else. So we try to just keep the heel in line with the hip, and rather than having the toes pointing out to the side, we inwardly rotate so that the toes point down, push out through the heel behind you. Keep the toes of the right foot pointing straight forward. So we get full integrity on the legs part of warrior 3 here. And then stay here or transition into an inversion, bringing the hands to the floor, walking them back towards the right foot as you raise the left leg up into our standing splits, dropping the head towards the right shin. And then transitioning back through that modified warrior 3 or straight into unmodified warrior 3, so just with the full balance if you wish, or transition with the block again. So just taking a few breaths here, trying to keep the same integrity in the legs that we explored with the supported version. And when you're ready to come out, just let the left foot join the right at the front of the mat, back to mountain pose. Well done. Tricky sequence. Feeling that lovely fiery warmth spreading through the legs. Okay, so I think we're more or less ready to come down to the floor and explore some seated inversions here. So from here, if you want to do another flow, just to come down, standing at the front of the mat. Inhale, raise the hands, look up. Exhale, fold. Or just put in an extra inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, fold as well, we're here. Inhale, look up and lengthen. This time come back to downward dog or child's pose for that just inversion again. Use the block under the forehead if that's feeling great today. Again, some nice slow deep breaths here. And then if you're not already there, we're going to come down into child's pose, but we'll take a lovely wide knees child's pose this time. So bring the knees down and take them kind of mat distance apart, bring the big toes together and drop the forehead down to the floor. So if it doesn't meet the floor, put it on a block. Up to you what you do with your arms. They can be outstretched, it can be back towards the feet. But once again, just feel the forehead meeting support here. And just feel this as a very gentle inversion. So this is really what I'm talking about, this kind of very mellow inversion is things like child's pose and some of the seated ones that we're going to explore now. The standing inversions in their own way are quite intense sometimes. So just let this be again that sense of being held, supported, nourished. And slowly bring yourself to a kneeling position. And keep the head low as you walk the knees towards each other and let the head come up last. So just arrive in Vajrasana, kneeling position, and just take just a few breaths here, just feeling again the blood flow go back the normal way. This is a classic meditation posture, so just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths, maybe closing the eyes and just for a moment. Really becoming still, drawing your awareness inwards to your breath, maybe to the space between your eyebrows, your inner movie screen, Chittakash. And then when you're ready, just drop the hips to one side, bring the legs forward. So again, we're going to be doing lots of forward folding. So as well as an inversions practice, it's a hamstring practice. So if you need to sit on a block, do so, or put anything under the knees and do so. Okay, so just from here, inhale, stretch the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. And again, we're going to do the full Ashtanga version of Paschimottanasana, this whole sequence. So Paschimottanasana A is where you take the first two fingers and the thumb around the big toe. Now, for some of us, that's just not going to be there, so we can take the hands onto the thighs or shins, or we can bend the knees if we want to feel what that grip is like. Okay, so just dropping the head, taking some slow, deep breaths. Definitely taking the more kind of mellow, introspective version of the forward folds today, where the back is rounded and the head drops, jaw releases. From here, we inhale, look up and lengthen. Paschimottanasana B, we take hold of the little toe edge of the feet. So again, you might just stay with the hands on the shin. Okay, so you might just do the same posture 3 times. Otherwise, hands come to the little toe edge and we inhale, look up, exhale, forward fold. Keeping the feet nice and flexed. Or again, if you're wanting to explore these different mudras, these different hand to feet connections, then just you might need to bend the knees. Relax the jaw, the shoulders, let the legs stay active. And then on your next inhale, again, look up and lengthen. And we go down again, Paschimottanasana C. For those who can, it's an interlacing of the hands beyond the feet or even holding on to the opposite wrist. So I know that's not for everybody. So again, you might just have hands on the shins or wherever you are, but just get maybe incrementally closer to the feet. But we're not forcing anything. But basically, with each variation, we go to the deepest expression of the posture that's available for us. And it might just move a little bit with each time we go forwards. But for those who can or want to, there's these 3 different binds. Dropping the head.
Apologies for my little nappy terrier, if you can hear her. Don't know what she's barking at. Focus inwards on your breath. And then at the end of your next exhale, slowly coming up. And again, just let the head come up last. And we're not going to go into the counter pose, but we'll come back to the neutral spine, the head in line with the heart. So coming to Dandasana. So just feel yourself in, like we did with the kneeling, just letting the spine come back to the neutral pose, neutral shape, and just taking a few breaths here. And then from here, slide your right foot, so the sole of the right foot's against the inner left thigh for Janu Shirshasana. And again, we're going to come forward. All of these forward folds are mild inversions. Inhale, stretch the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. If you can, support the head. So for some of us, we could explore the brick again. Maybe we can, as I'm just demonstrating here, maybe we can just put the brick on the leg and feel that support, that feedback on the forehead today, if it works for us, but not if it requires any straining. And if, you know, it's an invitation there if you want to try. Slow, deep breath. And then at the end of your next exhale, coming up, and just take it into a twist by taking the left hand to the inside of the right leg, or maybe the foot, right hand behind, looking over your right shoulder, maybe picking up the right hand, reaching for left thigh. And then at the end of the exhale, unwind, come back to the center. We will do a front opener now for some kind of balance. Bring the left hand behind you. Oh no, sorry, the right, the right hand behind you, the fingertips pointing behind. Lean into the right hand, lift everything up. Try to plant the left foot down and just let the left hand drop and let the head drop as well. Because actually back bends, some back bends, including this one, are inversions too. The head is below the heart. A very different feel. And then exhale, slowly lower the hips back down, bring yourself back upright, turn to face the front and swap sides. Bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh, facing that front foot, right leg active, toes up. Inhale, lengthen through the side body. Exhale, forward fold, Janu Shirshasana. Dropping the head. If possible, finding that feedback for the forehead. Maybe a brick, a cushion. Taking the awareness inwards, the energy inwards. And then inhaling, coming up, taking it into a twist. So right hand's on the inside of the right leg, left hand behind you, or maybe round to reach the right thigh. Right hand can be on leg or foot. Look over the left shoulder. And at the end of the exhale, unwind, come back to the center. And now left hand behind you in the center of the mat, fingertips behind, push through the left hand to lift everything up, press the right foot down, and we just kind of let the right arm sweep back and drop, and the head drop to feel an inversion even here. So it's like the heart is lifting and the head is dropping. Breathing into the front body, really enjoy this because we've not done much of this in the class today, and then slowly lower the hips down. And then from here, just let the right foot join the left foot, so we end up in Baddha Konasana. We'll just look at some very gentle inversions in hip openers. So we'll do the full, again, the full Ashtanga, I'm really drawing an Ashtanga today, the full kind of 3 different Baddha Konasanas. So we start with A, so we're holding on to the edges of the feet, and we take the chin and the chest forward. So it's really about, it's not about coming down, it's about coming forward, so the back stays more or less straight. So it's again that sense of the finger on the crown of the head, that kind of more sense of spinal extension than curling inwards. I might have to lean out the window and shout at my dog in a minute. I'm really sorry. I'm home alone today, so I can just kick off when I'm home again. But as best you can, ignore all of that. I'm not even sure if you can hear it, but I certainly can. And just take awareness inwards. The dogs are just providing the backdrop that life is like this. We try to keep our center, and there's always something out there that wants to knock us off our center. Best you can. Stay internal. And inhale, come back up to vertical. Exhale into Baddha Konasana B. So now we really do curl and contract inwards. This is a true involuting posture, and we're dropping the head down towards the feet. And some of you may even contact foot to forehead, which feels lovely. You can actually give yourself a massage on the third eye with your big toes if you get there, which is quite a lovely experience. But if we're not there or nowhere near there, we're just curling, that's the direction we're going in. We're drawing the chin right to the chest, and we're just sending the head in the direction of the feet. And then inhale, uncurl, bring yourself back to the neutral spine, Baddha Konasana C. We stay upright, we draw the shoulders back, chest forward, we draw the chin in slightly, and maybe close the eyes, and we just stay upright for another 5 or so breaths, feeling again the spine coming to its neutral curves. Slow, deep breaths. From here, we're going to transition into pigeon. As we come out of this posture, I just want to ask, can you hear the dog barking, or is it, put your thumb up if you can. Yeah, I'm just going to, no, some of you can, some of you can't. I really can. So just transition yourself into downward dog or child's pose. I'm just going to see if I can just shout, because they're right outside my window. So I'll meet you in downward dog or child's pose. I do apologise. Frida, no, no. Okay, see if that works. So we're in downward dog or child's pose. Wonderful. Thanks everybody for that. And we'll just come into pigeon, which is another inversion. So if you're in child's pose, come to tabletop, or from downward dog, we'll bring the left leg forward, so the left knee's behind the left wrist, right foot moving back, bringing the top of the right foot down. And how do we make this into an inversion? By coming into the reclining pigeon, by taking the hands forward. If pigeon doesn't work for you, I know it's not for everybody. Do the thread the needle on your back. You don't get the inversion, but you get the same stretch. And make sure the forehead is supported. So if pigeon is challenging for you and you can't come all the way forward, use a block on a high setting maybe, or use your hands to support your head. But for some of you, it might be that you can support the head on the floor. So it's not going to be a true inversion for everybody, depending where the head is. But it's kind of that inward looking, feeling posture. So just support the forehead. Breathe, go inwards. Couple more breaths. And slowly walking the hands back in, lifting the head up last. Just tucking the back toe under, easing that left knee back. Maybe all the way out behind you for a moment, or maybe a downward dog just to open the back of the left knee. Maybe come back to downward dog or child's pose between sides. Just get that extra little inversion. And then when you feel ready, coming to the other side, so bringing the right knee behind the right wrist, left foot tucked under, and then walking it back, coming onto the top of the left foot. And then we'll go straight into the reclining patient inversion, so walking the hands forward and basically just dropping the head to as low as is appropriate for you. So it's not going to be an inversion for everybody, but make sure the forehead is supported. When you get to your deepest posture, just try to relax here. Just notice where there's resistance. So if you can invite a release, a relaxation, maybe in the shoulders and the back, maybe in the jaw. Maybe if it feels nice, where the forehead is supported, just gently massaging the forehead by rolling the head side to side a little bit can feel super lovely. For a tension headache, and just generally a massage. Self-massage is a wonderful thing. Going inwards, spiraling inwards. And then at the end of your next exhale, just slowly walking the hands back in. Again, tucking the left toe under, sliding the right knee back, maybe all the way back to that back of the leg stretch or downward dog. And I would say to come to downward dog, just to open up the back of the knees and have one last downward dog. Been a real theme today. It remains one of my favorite yoga postures through the years. And then bring the knees down. And let's explore. We'll open up the space for stronger back bends, not back bends, stronger inversions for those that want to do them, but if not, just a few preparatory postures. So we'll start with the dolphin. We'll all do the dolphin. Some of you might want to take that into a forearm balance. But that's up to you. We'll do 3, and on the last one, you could take it into pincha Mariasana. Okay, so into dolphin, we hold on to the outer edge of both upper arms, and then we pivot hands, and we just place the hands down. So sometimes we can do this with the hands interlaced, but if we're preparing for pincha Mariasana, I'm having a mental block, I think it's that, then we have the forearm balance, then we have the forearms parallel. Okay, so we'll do dolphin like that. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, walk the feet towards the elbows, drop the head and look back towards your thighs. Try to keep the shoulders over the elbows. Try not to let the shoulders come forward. And it's like we're pressing pressing the chest back towards the thighs. So the chest is kind of moving backwards between the upper arms, and the head stays relaxed. The head is off the floor. And again, there's that like gentle nodding, shaking the head to check there's no tension. Legs are super strong, front of the thigh strong. It's a strong hamstring stretch, but we should be quite prepared. And then exhale, release, bring the knees down. Just take a little rest here. Maybe a child's pose, or maybe a child's pose with the head in the hands, so you don't come all the way back into child's pose. So just keeping the head more in line with the heart. If you found, so we'll do number 2. If you found that it was hard to keep the hands, the forearms parallel, what tends to often happen for those with tight upper backs is the elbows go wide and the hands come together. Then you can use your brick again, and you can put the brick kind of in the angle of the thumb and the first finger. So you're in the same shape, but you've got the brick. So that's going to stop the hands coming close. Or you could press the outer edges, but it's best to keep the palms on the floor. Okay, so number 2, with or without the brick. Same, we'll just do the same. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, walk the feet towards the elbows without letting the shoulders creep forward. Strengthen the front of the legs. Find your core as well, so hollow out the lower belly, draw the lower belly in and up, lift on the pelvic floor, send the chest towards the thighs. Ooh, that's going to make the hamstrings feel it. And press down actively through the forearms, the wrists, the elbows. And breathe, and then release, come down. Take child's pose, or again, just that modified child's pose, head in the hands, if that feels good. Okay, so we're going to do one more. If you've got the juice, if you haven't, just stay in child's pose. In this third one, invitations are to, I'll just quickly show you, just to do leg lifts. So same as before we come up, but this time we lift one leg for a few breaths. My leg's off the screen, but you can kind of work out what I'm doing here. Or maybe the forearm balance, you could take one leg up and then just play with a little bit of hopping, maybe find that balance, and you can, whoa, just playing around, but you could just start with kind of little hops, okay? And then, but make sure you do it with both legs. So optional, or just keep one foot on the ground at all times, or both feet. Okay, so last one, try to keep the hands in the same position, forearms parallel, just go up in your own time. Decide what you want to do this round, either the simple dolphin or leg lifts. Hold for at least a breath each side, a couple of breaths if you can, or maybe just playing with hops and forearm balance. You could always practice forearm balance close to a wall as well. And when you are complete, come down and take a nice child's pose. And really just when you come down, great job everyone, just come into classic balasana. We haven't really done just classic balasana yet, where you let the hands come back to the feet, the knees are together and the shoulders just drop. So it's kind of like the opposite of what we've just been doing, which is very strengthening for the shoulders. So just let the shoulders drop. And again, just feel the nourishing benefits of the mild inversion. Feel the support of the forehead. Let the heart rate settle again. Strong posture, dolphin. Excellent, excellent preparation for all of the inversions, especially handstand, headstand, and forearm balance. Okay, so from here, just slowly come up to kneel. Again, letting the head come up last. So we're going to open the space for Shirshasana, the headstand. I'm not going to do shoulder stand today because we're focusing more on the front of the head, and the crown of the head, and the back of the head. So the preparation for that is basically the same as dolphin, but with the head on the floor. So we'll do 2, and unless you want to rest, of course, we'll do 2, and then the second one for those that want to go into Shirshasana, have it in their practice. Feel free to go up into the full posture. You might want to come to the wall now so that you can go up with the wall there if you need for the second one. But we'll all do the preparatory one first, and some of you can do the preparatory one twice. Okay, so it's the same setup. So really important, this first bit of kind of getting a meaty grip of your upper arm, outer upper arm, because that brings the elbows to where they need to be. But this time we interlace the fingers and we make this little bowl. And we put the crown of the head on the floor behind that little bowl. So we're holding the back of the head. And then it's like dolphin again, but this time the head on the floor. Tuck the toes under, walk the feet towards the elbows. The shoulders will be in front of the elbows a little bit now, but press actively through the elbows, the forearms and the wrists and the little fingers to stop the ears collapsing into the shoulders. So the arms are working super strong, lifting the lower belly up towards the spine, lifting on the pelvic floor. If you really press down on the elbows, you can feel the feet getting lighter. But for now, we'll just bring the knees down, come back to child's pose, or forehead in the hands. So on this second one, as I say, you can just go straight up into headstand, but even if you're proficient at headstand, it's still really good to do these preparatory ones sometimes. They're great training for the body. Or you could practice one leg lifts like we did in dolphin. Okay, so, or rest in child's pose. So in your own time, come into your second version of Shirshasana preparation or Shirshasana. When you lift the hips, you're walking the feet towards the elbows, and if the feet start to feel like they're almost coming off the floor, then you can start to practice lifting one leg, lifting the other, even if it's just bringing the heels in towards the buttocks rather than straight leg lift. Or maybe once you've brought one up, you can bring the other up. So just play around here. I'm just giving you a bit of space. If anybody's got any particular questions or wants any particular support, I'm just creating a little bit of space in the class for Shirshasana. So feel free to unmute and ask me anything or ask for guidance if you're unsure. And if you don't want to go up, just stay with the prep or just take rest in a lovely child's pose. Okay, so kind of a bit of freestyle inversions practice here. Remembering child's pose counts. And then ideally, you're looking to take at least 10 breaths in your headstand. But when you're ready to come down, just make sure you do come back to child's pose and probably classic Balasana again. And just really relax here. Make sure the forehead is supported. Release, relax. We have to spend quite a bit of time in child's pose after headstand to allow the neck to decompress. So it's a bit longer than you might think. So stay good few more breaths here. One of my favorite parts of the yoga practice is the child's pose after the headstand, just feeling everything decompress, resettle. Okay, well done. Slowly, when you're ready again, we come up to kneel, just letting the head come up last. And now we're going to come down onto our backs. So just take your time, come to lie down. And just for balance, we will do a front opener, but nothing too dramatic, just one bridge. Wheel if you're really feeling it, or supported back bend with a block under the sacrum. Okay, but I'm going to demonstrate and invite you to do Seti Bandhasana. So we have the hands by the sides, feet close into the buttocks and parallel. And we lift the hips, draw the shoulders underneath, maybe interlacing the hands. And just notice what is going on here. Whatever shape you've chosen, you're in an inversion again. Your head is below your heart when we come into these front body back bends, but very different quality of feeling. But just again, as we've not done many front openers, just really enjoy breathing into your front body rather than your back body. Hamstrings now working hard rather than being stretched on the backs of the thighs, so that you feel the legs working. Few more breaths if you can, come down before I say if you need, but otherwise just lingering here for a couple more breaths. And then when you finish your next exhale, or on your next exhale I should say, roll the spine down from the upper back to the lower back, placing the sacrum down, stepping the feet forward a little bit, moving the shoulders back probably so the shoulder blades really land on the floor. And just again, lying down, we find the neutral curves of the spine, and we just take a moment to integrate with the spine neutral. And because we're lying on our back and we're not going to take the feet up anymore, really, we've kind of finished the inversions part of the class. So we're just enjoying having the head level with the heart or above the heart. So when you're ready, stretch the legs up into the air, reach the arms back. Feel the traction of the spine here, the opening of the back body. And then bend the knees, bring the hands into, bring the knees into the chest, using your hands around the backs of the knees and in front of the shins. Maybe just rocking, maybe rolling around on the sacrum. But still just feeling the neutral spine. Breathing into the neutral spine. And then from here, taking a couple of different twists. So first of all, just stretching out the left leg, keeping the right knee hugging into the chest. Use your left hand to draw the right knee across the body. Right arm can extend and look out over your right shoulder. Right foot's just on the floor, or it's on the left leg, or if you've got any kind of support handy, just resting the foot on a bolster or block if needs be. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths here, releasing breath. Slowly rolling back to the center, swapping sides, right leg extends, left knee hugs in. Use your right hand to draw it across the body, left arm extends out in line with the shoulder, look over the left shoulder. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. And then at the end of your next exhale, roll back to the center. And just with time, it's time for Shavasana. If you do want one last inversion, take a happy baby for 3 to 5 breaths. But otherwise, we've got about 3 minutes left. So I invite you to drop into Shavasana for these last few minutes and just let go and just really enjoy that sense of everything being in the right place, the neutral spine, the head in line with the heart. We're not back bending, we're not forward folding, we're just neutral. And as we've been really exploring, allowing this practice to be a nourishing, supportive practice where you feel held. So you can kind of really feel that here in Shavasana. So just let the body drop. Let the body drop into the embrace and support of the floor, the earth beneath you. Give it up. Give your body to the floor. And let go of breath, control, let go of effort. Let go. And as always, if you have longer, take longer, of course. But if you're closing with me at the end of the class, just drawing your Shavasana to a close by deepening the breath, bringing small movements back, fingers, toes, maybe some big stretches, and just gradually return to seated position, just to consciously close this time together before you go on with your day, evening. So if you're closing with me, just in a seated position, maybe just bringing the palms together, that symbol, mudra of gratitude, of respect, and direct this inwards to yourself, taking the time to practice this evening, and maybe for yoga, for the role it plays in your life as a resource, a nourishing resource that is a space where you can be held for a time. And then you feel complete. Open the eyes again. Thank you for sharing practice this evening. Nice to see you all. Namaste. Hopefully see you next week, technology permitting.
Thank you, Becky.